On the biggest MMO server in Minecraft, a new guy called Necron arrived in the Dungeons game mode. He is very hard to beat. But if you do beat him, chances are you will get some extremely sought after thingies. I was going to make a video on it, but immediately 5 people jumped on it and began milking this topic. So I began looking at all the new loot and something caught my eye. The Auto Recombobulator. As the name suggests, it has a 1% chance to recombobulate a drop you get from a mob. Of course, this made everyone confused. Should I buy it? How much should I buy it for? Define mob drops. Who has an auto recombobulator I can borrow? I am not a scammer. Due to the fact that one recombobulator is worth 5 million coins and that killing mobs is a crucial part of this game, and the fact that the auto recombobulator exists, you are basically printing money. Therefore, multiple personnel went in hard on this new item. But is it really that overpowered? Who will have the last laugh? So, I decided to do some investigation on this new item. A people I know called Young Gravy has experience with the Auto Recombobulator, after buying it for 180 million coins. He got some glitched runes that were recombobulated but were common. And he has recombobulated ender pearls. So we know that vanilla mob drops and runes will be recombobulated. However, nobody is going to buy them, except the recombobulated common runes because of glitched item collectors. Also, he resold it and lost 60 million coins, so that's all the info he collected. So I went on to the most comprehensive source of info, which is the Skyblock wiki, to see what else you could get from mobs. There are 5 talismans dropped directly from mobs, that have a 1% chance of being recombobulated. This includes the Tarantula Talisman, and when it's recombobulated it will sell for 5 million more coins. But don't get too excited. A Tarantula Talisman has a 0.3% chance of dropping from a Tarantula Slayer boss, so the odds of getting a recombobulated Tarantula Talisman are 0.006%, assuming you have above 100% magic find. It will take about 16,000 tier 4 Tarantula bosses until you get a recombobulated Tarantula Talisman, which is 8 million Tarantula XP. Even the player with the most Tarantula XP is going to get only one of those. And even though the other mob drop talismans are not that rare, it will take a very long time until you get a recombobulated version, and nobody is even going to buy a recombobulated Bat Talisman, Wolf Talisman, or Spider Talisman because it's way cheaper to upgrade it, which leaves the recombobulated Fish Affinity Talisman. And nobody even sells them. It's probably worth 1 to 2 million coins. Young Gravy, the most experienced fisherman, has gotten about 800 of these talismans in 120 million fishing XP. Meaning you get about 1.6 fish affinity talismans per hour. So it'll take about 62 hours until you get a recombobulated fish affinity talisman. Now let's talk about swords that drop from mobs. Most swords are obtained from crafting, buying, or a combination of both. There are only a few swords that are dropped directly from mobs, the most valuable one being the Ice Spray Wand from the Frozen Adventurer, and also nobody really wants the other swords. Ice Spray Wands sell for tens of millions of coins mostly because number 1 it is useful, number 2 Frozen Adventurers don't like dropping them. Even if you spend hundreds of hours grinding dungeons and slaughtering the poor Frozen Adventurers with overpowered items, you would be lucky to get even one. Getting a recombobulated Ice Spray Wand is out of the question. It's not looking too good for the Auto Recombobulator, so let's see if recombobulated mob armor is useful. All the good armor is made from crafting or buying, and mob drop armors are once again worthless. You will most likely never get recombobulated mob drop armor, and that armor will sell for little money. Nobody wants to buy recombobulated ender armor unless the seller has YouTube rank. And no, pets don't have a chance of getting recombobulated. And 1% is a negligible chance for upgrading pets anyways. In fact, 1% isn't really enough to change anything. If the Auto Recombobulator applies to dragon loot, which isn't confirmed yet, it will take a while for you to get a single recombobulated dragon thingy, which will most likely be old dragon boots. Not all hope is lost however, because you will get a copious amount of recombobulated regular mob drops, such as rotten flesh and string. The chance of getting a recombobulated mob drop is rolled for each individual drop. What that means is, if a single mob drops 100 rotten flesh, there is a 1% chance for each individual rotten flesh to become recombobulated. So if you go fishing, doing Slayer, or other activities that result in you getting a lot of mob drops, you will get lots of recombobulated lily pads, fishes, rotten flesh, and so on. You can then put them on auction and hope that someone buys them. Keep in mind that people in Skyblock tend to buy ridiculous things. If they can spend hundreds of millions of coins on a single sword, surely they have enough to spare for recombobulated fishes. Of course, this works better when you have YouTube rank. But nobody even has YouTube rank. The price of the talisman is dropping anyways, and it's a dungeon accessory, so its reforged stats are multiplied in dungeons, so people are probably just buying it for the stats. And I don't want angry dungeon players showing up at my house in a black van because I made the auto recombobulator prices drop, so I have an extremely important announcement to make.
You should buy the auto recombobulator. It will give you many unique items that you can resell to make up for money. It also gives OP stats in dungeons. I have already stocked up on 10 auto recombobulators to resell after this video is released. Message me if you want me to carry you through floor 7 for 30 million coins. Bye.